Hey guys, so it's me again, and for the video that I have for this week, I actually was preparing a video that was supposed to be released yesterday, um, May 6th, but it took me a while to actually compose it, so I'm just releasing it with the video that I'm recording for my run for today. So I hope you enjoy it. So this week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and normally in my many years of teaching, I've always taken one day during this week to just talk to my students and share with them the experiences I've had. And I would always choose a person, a teacher of mine, former teacher of mine from the Philippines or from here, or a friend, teacher of mine, a colleague, to actually highlight and appreciate for that year. This year, I decided that I wanted to choose a person who I wanted to honor and to appreciate so much more. Is someone how I've appreciated already before. You notice that there's a green screen here, so I wanted to post her picture, and this is it. So I wanted to appreciate really my aunt. We call her fondly as Tita Bem in the Philippines, and a sister of my mother. I wanted to do it on this particular day, May 6th, because it's 8 months to this date that she has passed away. She passed away September 6th last year after a couple of months of battling cancer. I took the time to actually honor her last year, but not a whole lot of my students this year know who she is, and so I wanted to also share that specifically with my students and my colleagues. So I wanted to share her life and her story with you. She was my 6th grade and 7th grade teacher. She was always comical, she was strict, she would be very hard, but at the same time, she always smiled, she always built a relationship with her students. And if you know me, it sounds like I'm describing myself, and that's true in a lot of ways because she has been my role model ever since I started teaching. That's how important she was for me. When I started teaching, I would always ask myself, when I get into a dilemma, what would Tita Bem do if she were in my shoes? That's how I went about approaching whatever concern I had. Oftentimes, the answer to that question would have been focus on relationships first before anything else. It's always relationship over any function, and that's how I've actually approached teaching. She went on to teach for 40 years until she retired a couple of years back. She retired the principal of the elementary school that I grew up in, called Jose Abad Santos Memorial School, or JASAMS. She would oftentimes get called back because she just had that attractive personality. If you have that kind of a personality, no one wants to let you go. So it was really hard for me to accept that she's gone because that's how much of an impact she had on me. The blessing that I have is the fact that I was able to tell her directly that she had that much of an impact on me. After more than 6 years of not going back home, I finally had the opportunity to spend a summer in the Philippines. And I got to see her one last time. A month after I came back is when I got the news that she has passed away. So I just wanted to share that with you because, for one, I wanted to share that the definition of success is how many lives are better off because you've lived. For sure, she was a success story. She was a success in herself. I could not believe how many students all across the world actually came and paid homage to her, either through Facebook or personally, just to say that she has had that impact on them. Personally, I would like to think that her life had a ripple effect in that every life that I touched and I've come across with became better. And it's not just because of me, it's because of how she has inculcated those values in me. To me, that was just paying it forward. So I wanted to let my students know that if somehow I made a difference in your life, it's because of my aunt. She was my biggest influence. The other thing that I wanted to share really is it's Teacher Appreciation Week, and so I wanted to appreciate all my colleagues, my fellow educators, those who are actually in the field right now, experiencing the same thing I'm experiencing. It's not easy, and oftentimes for the work that we do, sometimes we think really we're underpaid, and I think we are, but for me, because it's a vocation, I tend to ignore that because I love what I love to do. And this past month has been difficult in the sense that you don't get to really do what you love most, which is interact with students. I mean, you can only do so much on a virtual setting, but not being able to come face to face with students, tell stories with them, that's a difficult thing for me not to be able to do. I feel especially for the seniors right now, and I was thinking one time, what can I do for them? So I actually had a Zoom call with them just to chit chat and catch up, and because I miss them. Some part of me is saying inside, I'm gonna regret the fact that I won't be able to say my goodbyes to them just before they go off to college. And then I started realizing this batch of students, the seniors, have gone through so much. It's very rare that in your high school career you would have major interruptions, and it's difficult to bounce back from that. This batch of seniors not only weathered one major interruption, but two, during their sophomore year, after 1 week of schooling, got interrupted for 2 weeks because of Hurricane Harvey. That was a major interruption. After Hurricane Harvey, we were in catch-up mode the whole year. Yet they persisted, and they were able to weather the storm and bounce back. Then, during their senior year, when they should be enjoying, they should be reaping the fruits of their labor, that gets taken away from them. But they persisted. You know, I always tell my students these stories because I wanted to impress upon them that they shouldn't be waiting. They shouldn't be waiting to honor their teachers, because you might not have the chance to be able to do that. And nothing really warms the heart of teachers more than hearing that they're appreciated, even a small bit. That's what I've decided to do. That's the reason why I've done this every single year that I've taught. Wouldn't you know it that the senior batch, they were so resilient when they heard that my aunt passed away. They actually created a tribute video sharing with my family how much of an impact my Aunt Bem was through me. And nothing warms my heart more than that. So for me, nothing can be more authentic than that.
I hope you enjoyed the video that I composed for you. Took me a while to edit it, but it's done, and I dedicate this to all of my colleagues, my fellow educators, as well as for the senior batch who are dear and near to my heart. Know that I always pray for you, and I hope to hear good things from you in the future.